a topic that you don't necessarily relate to retirement or leaving your full-time job. Where does confidence to do this actually come from? It comes from knowing your number, being financially prepared or financially aware of what you need to do to actually be able to transition from this being your absolute last job to where you want to go. Some of us are going to have a gap. That's just part of the life that we've led. No shame in that, but you got to be prepared. And with preparation comes confidence that you're going to be able to face anything. A lot of people think that confidence is a personality trait, that it's something they're born with. They're special. And it actually is a big old pile of bull malarkey. Confidence comes from courage, and courage comes from preparation. Now, let's unpack that real quick. Preparation is just simply you being fully adult enough to know what your expenses are, what your income is, writing it down, and then telling your money where to go and what jobs it has. If, as you're looking at your expenses to your future income, as you leave a full-time job into retirement, you may realize that you're not going to have enough, but you're prepared to make a decision on how to manage that. So preparation leads to courage. So once you realize those things, you can then make your decisions and be brave enough to execute them because now you're confident. And that is the key, and it has been our entire life. Courage is nothing more than facing the things that scare us. Is it fearful to know, because you've done the numbers, you know what you have, what you need? Is it scary to realize that you're not going to have enough every month coming in? Yeah, it is. Are you a little mad because you thought retirement was going to mean you never had to work again? We were being promised one thing. The reality is it's going to be different than how we spent the last 30, 40 years, but it's not necessarily going to be how it's been portrayed in a lot of the movies and TV shows or the example set by our grandparents and our parents. But we're going to do what's best for us. We're going to prepare. We're going to have courage, and that is going to lead to confidence. So if you're lacking in the confidence to be able to move into this next chapter, stick around, because I'm Jenny. I got a little to say about a lot of stuff, and this is today's topic. So let's talk about preparation. This is what is going to reduce uncertainty. If you don't know what your monthly expense numbers are as of today, when you're still working and you're not ready to pull the trigger on retirement or this next phase of your life, shame on you. You have to know this. You may have buried your head in the sand for the past 30, 40 years, have done a haphazard job of a budget, but a budget is your safety net of knowing what your monetary requirements are and what you have coming in. And now is the time to look at that. You might still have another 5, 10, 15 years that you plan to work. Do you have debt? Nothing's going to erode your confidence in retirement worse than having debt and minimum payments. So let's go ahead and get that cleaned up. So prepare for retirement. Now, if you've not done the first daggum thing for the last 30, 40 years, except for just say at age 65 or age 67 or I'll work till 70, if you've not done anything to actually sit down and look at what your future self needs, they're going to be really mad at you by the time you get there. So now is the time for you to check out what you need, what you might have come that retirement age. Is there a gap, and what you can do now to better prepare for it? Down in the description, I've got Master Your Money Plan. This is a free workbook for you to go down there and grab and start doing your basic budgeting. I have a more, I wouldn't even call it advanced, but I have another product called Retirement Reality Reset Kit that actually has a spreadsheet that goes with it to help you really get down to the nitty-gritty and figure out what your retirement needs are. If you are considering continuing to produce income because you enjoy it, because you need the money, I want the money. I don't know necessarily if I'm going to need the money in 15 years, but by goodness, I like a little cush fund. I like a little mad money. Down in the description, I've also got life experiences to income. This is a workbook to walk you through how to figure out what skill sets you have, regardless of what you've done for the last 30, 40 years. You may have been a stay-at-home mother. You may have been a community advocate. You may have been a profession in some field. Regardless, you've got skills, every last one of us. And this workbook will help you figure out how you can monetize those skills. And when you know these numbers, you might be surprised. Fear loses its power when you put a flashlight on it. It's no longer scary. Those retirement monsters under your bed, we've got to excise them. Got to excise them. So with preparation, your fear diminishes and you can start making plans. And this will give you the courage to take action. As you take each action, and action number one is knowing what your monthly number is. You don't need $1 million, but you do need to know how much every month you need. These are your decisions. It doesn't matter what your family thinks. It doesn't matter what you're afraid your coworkers might think. The only opinion that matters is yours and your significant other. If you are in a marriage or a long-term relationship, they have input, and together you make these decisions, but these decisions are yours. So I don't care if somebody calls you crazy. You want to retire early? That is 100% possible. Maybe you don't have 100% retirement funds yet. You can do a glide down. You can do a hybrid. You can leave a high-earning job that is just burning you out with the pressure and the stress and the amount of hours. You can leave that. It's up to you. Regardless of what other people in your life might tell you, you keep your own counsel. Make sure you and your spouse or you and your partner are in alignment, and together y'all can make these decisions. And not everybody in your life is going to understand your choices. They never have. Look back. I got 58 years in the rearview mirror, and I don't think my family and friends have understood 95% of what I do. But that's okay. When I put my head on the pillow every night, I sleep very well. My conscience is clear. I do as I please. I do no harm. I never intentionally do things that are going to cause problems for other people. But sometimes what's best for me is not necessarily going to please them. You have to do what's best for you. If you choose to discuss your plans with somebody outside of your marriage or your immediate relationship with your partner, there's value in that. Those who have known us longest probably know us best, but they don't necessarily know what's best for us. So if it helps you to talk it through with someone, to get a counterpoint to what you're considering doing, that is fine. Trusted family members, friends, church members, somebody you respect that's autonomous to your current work career, your current job. These are all great candidates. But go into it knowing that they may not agree, but that doesn't mean you're wrong. They just simply have a different point of view than what you're expressing, and it may not be a fit for them, but it doesn't mean that you can't do what you choose to do. So again, we've got preparation, courage, and confidence. And as you have these discussions with your immediate closest people, whether it's a spouse, a partner, friends, family, etc., you don't have to over-explain it. This is not for them to approve for you. This is just simply you working through your thought process with them. So quit over-explaining it. Quit justifying it. If it's right for you, it's right for you. Now, we are applying all of this to our decision of moving into the next chapter of our life, retirement or however you want to call it. But this same advice, had somebody told me and I was ready to hear it back in my 20s, it would have saved me a lot of heartache and heartbreak. So feel free to use this video to speak to some younger versions of yourself, whether it's in your family or at work, because these 3 points, preparation, courage, confidence, applicable to everything in life. If you are ready to find your confidence, like, subscribe, share, because I've got a lot to say about this. I got a little to say about a lot of stuff, but I got a lot to say about this. If you have been living small, if you've been playing small for the last 40, 50 years, whether it's because you were too fearful or you were in a situation where you didn't feel confident that you could speak up and speak out, you got more sunsets behind you than you do sunrises before you, and it is time to put on your big girl panties and find your confidence. And real confidence, it doesn't demand attention. It doesn't expect applause, and it dang sure doesn't require approval. So let's figure out, what do you want to do next? And let's prepare. Let's get some courage, and let's enjoy the confidence. I'll see y'all soon. I post on Wednesdays and Saturdays, and this is video something in a 7-video series this month. Next month is another topic coming up about retirement, so I'll see y'all then. Stop recording. Confidence. A lot of people think that personality trait, well, we also thought the senior prom was going to be this magical magical Cinderella moment, or our weddings were going to be flawless, or whatever preparations that we've made for these epitomized, fantasized about events. And retirement is no different. We thought we're going to prepare, we're going to have confidence and courage. Stick around. I got plenty to say on this. That's just shooting fish in a barrel. No, that's not the right analogy. That's just a ridiculous. I know you've tuned in here wanting to hear about Gen X and women of our age moving into this next phase. Well, there's a bonus one for you.